Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the All Bass No Bowl podcast. Today, we're joined by Tyler Brinks. He's a freelance editor and content creator. I'm going to go ahead and bring him in. What's up,
How's it
man?
going?
Good.
How
How
are
are
you?
you? Good.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to bring you on today to kind of get your opinion about iCast and some of the different baits that were coming out and different things. What was kind of your overall impression of the show, kind of going down to Orlando and different things?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I actually just posted, I have a YouTube channel as well. I just posted a video yesterday because I was hearing so many negatives about it, how the show's dead, it's going to be the last iCast, all
Yeah.
those things. And I disagree with all that. I mean, I believe I've been to 16 iCasts, so I've been to quite a few. The first one was in 2007, and I've missed one or two since then with, weddings and stuff I had to do. But, it was, I wouldn't say there was like a lot of stuff that was really like groundbreaking, I mean, as far as the new product front, but as far as the show, I mean, I don't think there's anything that's going to, go away. I mean, iCast, I think people need to know. I mean, it is, a lot of it's thrown out in the public, but really it's a trade show. So it's for people who work in the industry. So it's not for the public, but, the public gets to see what comes out. So I think that's kind of the miscommunication or, misunderstanding that a lot of people have, that it's, there's nothing new coming out. I mean, really, it's about, retailers buying products, seeing what's going to be coming out so they can order for their store. It's about media covering, the different brands. There's a lot more than just the new products.
For sure.
But as far as the new products, I mean, there was still a good amount of innovation. I mean, there was obviously a lot of copycats. I mean, we saw all the dice baits. I mean, there was at least 5 brands that had dice, maybe more. I know Z-Man had a couple, G-Rat had one, of course, Strike King. I mean, it was just a lot of dice. There was a lot of minnows too. And, I think there's a lot of innovation in the minnows that, if you don't fish that way, I mean, you think that, it's just a fluke, but I mean, there's a lot of really cool ones coming out. There's a lot of really cool jig heads that help the bait roll. I mean, there's a lot of like little tweaks on things that I thought was pretty cool. But again, I'm a tackle nerd, so I noticed the little things. But from the outside, it may look like it's all the same. So I could see how there's some, I guess, disappointment in what came out this year.
For sure. I think for me, looking at iCast, it's one of my favorite times of the year. I think I love buying tackle, looking at tackle. It's just like, love seeing all the new stuff that comes out, especially, I guess I call myself like a terminal tackle nerd. I love like all the sizes and all the crazy stuff that comes out. But
there's a lot of terminal tackle. And again, like little differences. I mean, like the missile baits I roll, I know that it's similar to the Dream Stroller, with the welded eye for shaking a minnow. Buckeye had some cool stuff that I liked. There's just a lot of, for us terminal tackle junkies, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff. Gamakatsu had some great new hooks, a beefed up drop shot hook, it's been out a little bit. Just some cool little tweaks on stuff. Nothing that was like I was blown away with. Yeah.
If there was one product like that you feel like kind of was innovative, what do you think that would have been? Or do you feel like it was mostly just kind of copycats, like you were saying?
No, the one thing that, and I actually wrote an article on this, I do it every year, just kind of like the most unique things that kind of get overlooked, from the, and sometimes it's just really bizarre stuff, but there was a company that is doing a live scope that just basically goes to your phone or your tablet. So I thought that was pretty cool because it was a lot more affordable. You could connect it on Wi-Fi. You don't even need a fish finder at all. And the box was like this big. I mean, it was crazy. Wow, so I was thinking for like, if you had a small boat or a kayak, or if you're just going with your buddy or something like that, you could just pack that in there. I mean, it was a normal size transducer, but then the actual like black box was like a little square, and then you just connect it to your phone or iPad. I mean, so I thought that was pretty cool. And it was $750, I believe. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Be able to carry it with you if you're killing or something. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So there was a lot of innovation like that, like electronics that keep getting better and better. I mean, from the high end, the main brands, I mean, they're just clear. I mean, the Humminbird units were really easy to mess around with. The Explorer units. I mean, I have a Humminbird and I have a Lowrance and I have a Garmin, and that's one thing I hate about my Humminbird is it's just a pain to navigate, and they've kind of fixed that. And the waypoint management's a lot better. So there's just like little things like that I thought were kind of cool, but again,
Yeah.
nothing was like mind-boggling.
Yeah, for sure. Did it feel like the overall industry at ICAST was kind of like in a good spot? Like, what was kind of like the vibe maybe you're getting from ICAST?
So good question. I mean, I think it's probably better than it was last year, because last year, being an election year, everyone didn't know what was going to happen, and
Yeah,
sales were down, and they were still kind of comparing it to COVID sales and things like that. So it was kind of in a weird spot. I think this year, there's still a lot of talk of like the tariffs, affecting things, but I
sure.
think it was, honestly, pretty much back to normal. I mean, there wasn't, like everyone's super high on sales or super down. I think it was just kind of normal. I mean, it was just another good show, honestly, and I think the industry's in a good spot. And
Yeah,
manufacturers may disagree with me, but I mean, everyone that I talk to says, think they're plugging along. So
yeah, definitely. Now, are you going around ICAST and like interviewing different anglers, or mostly just like looking at the products for like your personal content and different things
uh,
like that?
I didn't really talk to any anglers, or, do any content. And
Yeah,
this may sound kind of bad, but I mean, there's so many of the same videos out there. I mean,
for
like,
sure.
hey, we're at ICAST. Hey
Yeah,
guys, we're at ICAST. So I didn't want to do any of that.
yeah,
My main focus was I did some content for myself, kind of just showing off new baits. I posted that stuff. And then I also had some written assignments for different partners for a website that I work. So for instance, I had to, kind of recap all the stuff from brand A or brand B. So it was more assignment based. And then I was looking at stuff that I thought was cool too.
definitely. Now, one thing I always think that's interesting about iCast is how the products will like they get released, but then as a consumer or like a customer, you're not able to get the products till like the late fall or like sometimes even
Mm-hmm.
winter. What's your thoughts about that? Would you like if like they come out with them, then you're able to buy them, or
Oh
do
yeah,
you?
for sure. But I think a lot of companies are coming out with stuff sooner,
Yeah,
because they know that, they're kind of planning ahead. Like I just got these right here. These are some stuff from NetBait. These
that's
are, I think, available now. I have a couple loose reels I can't reach right now that are basically, I looked at Tackle Warehouse and they said they'd be within 14 days. So they're kind of planning ahead of stuff,
yeah,
just to kind of negate that, because that was a big problem, because you forgot about it by the time that it came
yeah,
out. And so it's just the cycle of it. I mean, manufacturing takes a while. And the other thing that's funny is sometimes if stuff just isn't well received, I mean, you just kind of disappears. I mean, that's happened many times. Like they just kind of cancel the
kind of falls off.
introduction, or it's just kind of you just never see it again. So I think some companies maybe in the past would use it kind of as a, trial run to see if, if there's a lot of interest, if they get a lot of sales for it, things like that. It's almost like they're showing off their prototypes, honestly.
Yeah,
So it's
definitely.
kind of interesting deal.
Is there like one bait that stands out to you that like, oh, I'm definitely gonna like catch him on that, or like I can't wait to kind of get that in my hands from iCast?
Not off the top of my head. I guess one would be just because I've seen so many videos on it, but it's the Hide Up Judy fish.
Yeah,
It's a minnow bait, and it kind of looks like those one of those aquarium fish, like the tetras or something like that. It's got like these flowing tails on it. So I thought that was pretty cool. Not or I guess the betas, whatever the fighting fish are, those with the weird like ribbony tails. That's kind of what the minnow look like. So I have been seeing videos of that for, I don't know, a year, and now it's here. Spro distributes them, and it's going to be coming out. So that's one right there, I guess.
yeah. Was there something at? I guess you kind of covered that with the hide up fish, but like if there was something that came out of iCast that you're like, I wish I would have had that last year, maybe, or like, is there something you wish like, I wish I'd have had that in my arsenal, like maybe last year at a tournament I could have really used that or something like that.
No, I mean, I guess maybe like the dice stuff. I mean, I've been really into that for, I mean, a year and a half, but I wish I would have known about it even more, or given it more of a shot before. So
Yeah,
I mean, even, no matter which one, the OSP or the Strike King, and honestly, I mean, I think a lot of those they're all the same. I mean, they're all going to work. I mean, honestly, it's just
yeah,
so different that I don't know if like one is that much better or that much different than the other one. But I guess I just wish I would have fished it a little more, because the times that I have, it's been really good.
for sure. I'm excited to have all the different dice come out because I think the OSP ones are like $20 for four or whatever. So I mean they
Mm-hmm.
get expensive. I bought a little dice threader, so I've been making
Mm-hmm.
my own sometimes. It's cool to go to buy the different skirts and play around with the colors and whatnot. Like a lot of
Oh
times
yeah.
I'll take a morning dawn Cinco and then put like green pumpkin strands in it, and that
Oh
one's
yeah.
really well for me.
Yeah.
But
And also size too. I mean, you can get like a big
yeah,
like a 6-inch yum dinger that's, really they
Yeah.
don't sink very well, but they're really thick, so you can have like a pretty good sized dice or die, I guess.
Yeah.
From that, so customization is cool, and they do work.
Definitely. Is there a brand this year that you saw like kind of make a major leap into the industry, or kind of like maybe come out with some innovation? Because I know we talked about there's a lot of copycats or different things, but is there someone that maybe stood out, kind of like made a name for
One
themselves?
that I still haven't used them, and I don't know why, but Bates reels,
Yeah,
that's something that they've been around for several years, but I keep seeing them improve. Like they had a DC reel, I think, and don't quote me, but I think it was like $200. So good quality reel with the digital casting control. They also had a spinning reel that is CNC aluminum, and it was made in the USA. So that was kind of cool. But it is a little heavy. I mean, I think it weighed like 11 ounces, but it's basically a block of aluminum. They cut out the reel, so it feels really solid and made in America. So I thought that was just unique. I included that in that article that I wrote as well, just because it was cool to see.
Yeah, I have two of the Bates reels, and I absolutely love them. I have the bigger, like the 150, and then I have the little Hundo too.
Yeah,
Hundo, I think, is only like 4 ounces or something, so it's like
oh yeah, it's cool. I like
insane.
that reel a lot. I want to get one. It reminds me of my personal favorite reel is the Shimano Bantam, and it's that same
Yeah,
feel, like that solid aluminum feel. So
yeah,
it's cool. I mean, that when you're cranking or something like that, you just don't get that flex just because it's a one piece reel. So I'm definitely a fan of them. I hope to get some reels and start using them. And I've heard great things, like you just mentioned. Everyone who's used them has definitely passionate about them.
Were there any, like, behind the scenes or, like, conversations? Because a lot of times I've never actually been to ICAST, but a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times I hear, like, the deals don't really go down in the showroom floor. Like, if you're gonna get to know someone, it's more like at a dinner, something like that. What's kinda your personal
Yeah, I
experience?
mean that's definitely true. I mean, honestly, at a dinner or at the hotel bar, I mean that's where a lot of stuff happens, honestly. But this year, just because I wanted to be focused and not tired, I didn't do anything at night. Like I just got Uber Eats. We stayed a couple
That's
miles away. I
yeah,
stayed at the Hampton Inn or whatever, and just ate right around the corner, and then ordered food in. So I didn't go do any of that. But that is definitely true. The different events, the different parties, you get to really get to know somebody, and that's where a lot of the for the pros, that's where the sponsorship comes together, or just different partnerships at any level. That's definitely true.
yeah.
But I didn't do any of it this year. I was trying to stay away from all the fun.
I heard from a few people, and I was like, "Yeah, it sounds like it kinda gets crazy
Oh
sometimes."
yeah, it does. I mean, I remember because when they first had ICAST, it was in Vegas, and there was
Yeah,
always crazy stuff happening there because people be gambling and who knows what all hours, and don't show up, or they
yeah,
were doing something they shouldn't have been, and people saw it and their reputation was ruined. I mean, so Orlando's a lot more tame for that kind of thing.
yeah, for sure. Now, were you able to get out, like, I guess it's Tuesday before the showroom floor opens, were you able to testing out any of the kayak stuff or any of the on the water stuff, or you kinda got there
I
on the
didn't,
day?
I didn't. I came in Tuesday. I landed around noon, so I went to the
I
new.
got
There was a couple press conferences, at 3 or 4. Then the new product showcase is always a must for me.
you. Yeah,
It's where you get to see everything in the display cases. But I didn't do anything on the water. And in years past, I've done their tournament that they have at Lake Toho. It's like a ICAST Cup. It's a 3-hour
yeah,
tournament. They pair you with just some random exhibitor,
mhm,
but I just didn't do it this year. Just didn't want to go in a day early for any of that stuff. But it is cool that they're adding more than just the show for sure.
yeah. Now, what's your thoughts on, like, some of the bigger, like, glide bait style baits coming out? I don't know if you throw a big bait a lot, but for me, one thing that really caught my attention was that Spro K-rig, like the
Yeah.
3 Chad Shads rigged on top
Hmm.
of each other. What's your kinda thoughts about that?
So I would be lying if I said I'm like a big glide bait guy. I mean, I
Yeah,
got Depths 250s back here. I got all the good stuff, but
yeah,
I just don't. I like to catch fish instead of followers. That I always
for
make fun
sure.
of. I always tell people that are really into swim baits, but I do. I have caught fish on glide baits, and they're fun. But the K rig was really interesting. I mean, if you've seen that underwater video, it looks like three,
Mhm.
you know, pretty good sized bait fish swimming together. But the one trend that I liked was all the I guess the lower price options like the Strike
Yeah,
King Hogfather Junior. I know American Baitworks has a partnership. They have a new hard bait company, swim bait company. I saw Throwback Baits had a plastic
yeah,
ABS bait as well. So I think that's cool where they're some of these bigger names are now more accessible. I mean, kind of like the KGB shad was really the first one of those. So I like that because it's going to get more people involved with it. And, you can go as far as you want in that world for sure.
Yeah. It's definitely a lot nicer on the pockets when they're ABS or the plastic.
Yeah. I think the Strike King one, their Strike King Hogfather bait is like $50 or 45. So that's a lot better than
I think the real one's like
$200
$250 or something.
Yeah, if you can get it for sure.
Yeah.
Even.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So that's cool that they're having those partnerships, and I think there was one more that did that too. But yeah, it's definitely a trend we're seeing is those sought after garage baits are now
you have like the Bruker
more
brand,
accessible.
whatever too. Like
that was another one. That one might have been that was probably the first one.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's like a gap sometimes between like the hype and in reality of when a bait comes out? Like sometimes it gets really talked up, and then like we were talking about, like maybe it gets forgotten, or like it could kind of maybe ChatGPT told me it could look great, but might sizzle more than it steaks.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I definitely see that, especially when companies kind of like lead up, with like, hey, big announcement coming, stay tuned on the 1st of July, and they just really hype it up, and then the bait comes out, and you're like, okay, yeah, it's another dice or whatever. But there's also a lot of baits over the history of ICAST that looked awesome, amazing. Not going to call any out because they may still be around, but that then you get them finally and they're not that great. So yeah, there is some of that for sure. Yeah,
I kind of felt that this year with, like you were saying, all the little videos that were coming out. It was like June, and I was like, man, we don't even need ICAST in July. Like everything's coming out now,
there's also, it seems like a race to get stuff out faster and faster. I mean, I pay attention to that stuff and I get press releases, but it seems like early June, you're already hearing about what's coming. And then they're announcing it, 2-3 weeks before ICAST. So I guess you can even almost forget about it between then and ICAST.
Yeah. What would be like one thing you're looking forward to for your last few MLF tournaments? I guess there's one more BPT event.
Yeah, there's one more at Saginaw Bay, so that'd be one. Just going to Michigan. I love Michigan. I'm actually going on vacation to Michigan next week because my family's from there, and then I'll come back and then go a few days later. So just going to Michigan in general is awesome. Really, anywhere up north is fun. But then looking forward to just fishing a lot more. During the season, I travel as much as the Bass Pro Tour guys do, covering the events, and then in between, I'll have a week or two, so I don't really get to fish as much. So September on is when I really get to fish a lot and just have fun and try out all the new stuff that came out.
Yeah, you fishing like in downtown Austin, or kind of what are your go-to lakes around?
So I do fish there at Lady Bird. It's a really, really fun lake, but it's a pain to launch the boat, honestly, and it's electric only, which is what keeps it kind of so good, honestly. Is one, you got to get there early to get a good parking spot. Sometimes if you're late, you got to park in parking meters. I mean, it is downtown, and you got to worry about your stuff and your truck and everything. But then on the water, it's really good. So I personally like to go to different lakes, like Lake Austin, which is still pretty urban, but it's just a regular lake where you can launch, or then further up like Lake Travis, LBJ, or Canyon Lake. And the good news, I mean, it was really unfortunate, all the flooding that we had. I mean, it was devastating, but it rose those lakes like crazy. Like Lake Travis is about 90% full, where it was like 45% full. It came up like 40 feet.
It's crazy.
Lake Buchanan is 100% full now, and it hasn't been there for years and years. The lake by me, or Canyon Lake, came up 13 or 14 feet. So it went from historically low, where you couldn't launch a boat, to having 4 different launch ramps open now. So pretty cool that we got the rain again. Not a good situation, but those will honestly all be like new lakes, because everything that I fished months ago is 30, 40 feet underwater. So it is completely different. There'll be tons of bushes in the water. I mean, it's desert, so there's just all kinds of bushes and trees, and all that stuff will be flipping that stuff now.
Yeah. Now, one last thing I want to talk about. Do you have any thoughts about the 2026 BPT schedule?
That's
the other day, and I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was amazing, honestly. I mean, I like that they're going to different places. They start off kind of traditional with Gunnersville and Hartwell, but then after that, I mean, it's kind of crazy. Like Lake Whitney and Lake Waco. I fished Whitney one time, and interesting thing there is there's a lot of smallmouth in there, which is cool.
Wow.
So we'll see smallmouth most likely, probably not win, but they'll be a factor. Then Ivy in March will be really good.
It could be crazy.
And we were talking about the water levels. I mean, that's come up, a dozen feet too. So that's going to be like a new lake.
Yeah.
So overall, I mean, really good. Beaver Lake. I mean, like old school FLW days. I'm trying to think where else, but it was cool. Honestly, I think they did a good job of kind of adapting to the smaller field size and going to some of these, kind of off the wall lakes.
They cut it down to 50 anglers next year, right? It'll be.
Yeah. So it'll be, I believe it's going to be 51 because like this year it was going to be 65, but it was 66 because there are basically like legends exemptions.
Yeah.
So yeah,
makes sense. That's cool. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good year. I mean, I hate to see them cut that many people because I see these guys all the time. So whoever gets relegated, I'm bummed for them. But I think overall it might be better for the anglers that are remaining. Again, it's too soon to tell, but yeah, again, it does suck for a lot of good guys.
For sure. Feels like this year has flown by on the fishing side of things. Feels like the year just started. Maybe it's just for me because I haven't traveled to any of the events, but just working from home. But feels like the year started and now it's already over, basically. But
I know. I wish they would spread it out a little. I mean, they're so jammed like in there. I know there was a few times where I'd come home for like a week and then turn around and go somewhere else for almost a week and then come back for a week or two. They're really condensed. Obviously, it's the better fishing season in the spring and post spawn. But yeah, I wish they would have a couple more tournaments. That'd be cool if they had basically one a month till September would be ideal.
I love fall time tournaments. Something about like watching guys on like a tough fall bite. Sometimes it's a good bite, but then also sometimes it's more of like a grinder tournament. I think the COVID year, whatever, when all the tournaments got moved to like October and whatnot, was one of my favorite years to watch professional fishing. Just
that was awesome. Yeah, I remember those. Let's see, it was Gunnersville and Chick and in the fall, and it was a lot of frog fishing and lower weights, but it was closer. Yeah, I'm definitely all for some variety too.
Yeah, definitely. But I really appreciate your time and coming on and talking to us about ICAST. I think there's a lot of good things happening in the industry, like you were saying, and I think people can just a lot of times just kind of look at the small maybe hiccups in the industry, but I feel like everything's trending in a good direction for sure.
I think so too. I mean, I guess just generally I'm pretty positive about everything, but I think it is the industry is evolving, it always will, but I think it's still in a good spot. It's what we love to do. If you love to fish, you should care about ICAST and should care about what's coming out, that sort of thing. But again, thanks for having me. I appreciate you letting me kind of ramble here a little bit.
Yeah, I'll make sure to link all your social medias and different things in the bio too, in the description.
Okay, appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate
definitely. But hope you have a good rest of your day, man. Look forward to talking more soon.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime.
See you, man.
Yeah, bye.